The meeting that used to be on your calendar every Tuesday isn't there anymore. Nobody cancelled it. Nobody explained it. It just quietly stopped showing up. The project you always handled. Someone else is handling it now. Your manager says it's just to balance the load. Maybe that's true. People still say good morning. But the small talk is shorter. Less eye contact by the coffee machine. Replies that used to come with a little warmth now just say, got it. Nothing has officially changed. And yet everything feels different. That gap between what's actually been said and what you're sensing underneath it is where most workplace anxiety really lives. This kind of thing happens all the time in American office life, and almost nobody talks about it out loud. You notice it in a Slack message that used to end with an exclamation point, and now just ends. You notice it when your name quietly drops off an email thread you used to be copied on automatically. None of these things on their own mean anything, but your brain doesn't process them one at a time. It processes them as a pattern, and once it senses a pattern, it wants an explanation, even if there isn't one yet. Here's why your brain does this. Humans are built to notice change in their environment faster than they can explain it. That instinct is way older than performance reviews or open floor plans. It used to keep people safe. Now it just gets triggered by a cancelled one-on-one. When something shifts and nobody gives you a reason, your mind doesn't sit still and wait. It fills in the blank. And it almost always fills it in with the worst version of the story, because uncertainty feels scarier than bad news. Hearing, "we're letting you go," is strangely easier for the brain to sit with than silence and an empty calendar slot. So here's a simple way to sort through it. One weird moment is just noise. A rescheduled meeting, a slower reply, a quieter Tuesday. On its own, that's nothing. That's just a normal week. But when you start noticing 3, 4, 5 of those things stacking up in the same direction, that stops being noise. That becomes a pattern worth paying attention to. The mistake a lot of people make is reacting to the very first data point, like it's the whole story. The smarter move is to wait, keep watching, and let the pattern either confirm itself or fade out on its own. The signals worth actually tracking usually show up in a few places. How people talk to you, warmer or cooler, longer or shorter, whether you're still in the room or on the invite when real decisions get made, whether your responsibilities are growing, shrinking, or just quietly sliding sideways to someone else, whether the feedback you're getting has gotten vaguer or stopped completely, whether information that used to come to you automatically now has to be asked for. None of this by itself confirms anything. A manager having a rough quarter can look exactly like a manager pulling away from you. Context always matters more than any single moment does. So what do you actually do with all this? You observe without spiraling. You jot things down, dates, specific moments, what changed, not to build a case, but because memory bends under stress, and a plain record keeps you honest with yourself. You ask direct questions instead of guessing in the dark. Something as simple as, "Hey, I noticed our one-on-ones moved. Is there anything you'd want me to focus on differently?" does more in 30 seconds than 3 weeks of quiet worrying ever will. And through all of it, you keep showing up and doing solid work, not to prove a point to anyone. Because doing your job well keeps your options open, no matter which way things go. The urge to spiral is natural. It's just rarely useful. Most shifts at work have a boring explanation. A reorg, a tight budget, a manager who's distracted by something that has nothing to do with you. Some don't. The only way to know the difference is to slow down long enough to look at the evidence instead of the fear. When certainty disappears, most people let fear make the decision for them. But fear is a lousy analyst. It doesn't wait around for facts, it just invents them. The steadier path is simpler than it sounds. Observe carefully, ask directly. Let evidence, not anxiety, decide your next move. In the end, the people who handle uncertain moments at work best aren't the ones who feel the least fear. They're just the ones who stop listening to it long enough to see clearly.